Today, we're talking about adding flow control to E61 group heads. It seems like an absolute no-brainer. They are pretty inexpensive, these systems are relatively easy to install. However, because of some pretty basic physics, they might not have the same operation or range of applications that you are currently expecting. Is this a deal breaker? Let's dig in. Before we do so, I want to quickly say this is going to get a little bit technical. However, I promise I will try to bring it around full circle in a way that is easy to understand. As always, if you want to check out this system, I will have it linked down in the description below. Let's start by defining the basic parameters of an espresso extraction. An espresso machine delivers water through the pump at a defined flow rate. If you then add in a portafilter with some coffee, adding resistance to that flow, pressure will build within the group head, and that pressure is proportional to the resistance the coffee is able to put up and the flow rate of water that is trying to push through it. The resulting espresso flow rate into the cup is then a function of the resistance of the coffee puck and the pressure differential between the atmosphere in your kitchen and the pressure built up in the group head. We can see this in action with a normal espresso shot. Espresso machine manufacturers carefully design their flow rates so that when they are met with a typical puck resistance, the resulting flow rate into the cup is also typical, normally in the range of 1.5 to 2 milliliters per second. However, because most espresso machines cannot moderate their flow rate, this will begin to accelerate as the shot progresses because the resistance of the puck begins to degrade. Because we can't control the resistance of the puck and how it changes throughout the extraction, our only way to intervene or profile a shot is through the flow rate. By adjusting the flow rate, we also indirectly have control over the pressure in the group head in its relationship with the resistance of the puck. On a true flow profiled machine, you have direct and independent control of the flow rate. In doing so, you can have long, low pressure pre-infusions by only allowing as much water as can be absorbed by the puck, not allowing much pressure to build up in the group head. And then once you are up to pressure, you can do things like maintaining pressure by slowly increasing the flow rate as the puck degrades, or more likely, maintaining a flow rate into the cup by slowly decreasing the flow rate as the puck degrades. Having this kind of control is valuable because it allows you to adapt to changes in the puck resistance and also allows you to treat the puck more gently at the beginning and later phases of the extraction. The different ways that machines deliver water to the puck surface is a big part of the reason why different machines exhibit different flavor characteristics. So we've determined that flow control can be useful, but what about E61 flow control? Is it even true flow control? Well, yes, but also no. On a true flow controlled machine like the Decent DE1, you have full control of the flow rate, independent of any other variables, independent of the puck resistance, independent of your pressure goals. If you say add a certain flow rate, the machine will do it, even if it results in the extraction rocketing up to 12 bars. The same thing can be done on a lever machine. You can add as much flow as you want and send the pressure as high as you want. With a mechanical flow control system like this one, it's not quite as simple. There is no brain in here, human or digital. These flow control knobs use a variable aperture, or in other words, they create a larger or a smaller opening to allow more or less water to flow through. And when there is no pressure on the other side, this is a pretty direct relationship. Think of your kitchen faucet. The wider you open it, the faster it flows. However, things start to get more complicated as you build pressure in the group head. Similar to the relationship of the espresso flow rate into the cup, you now have a similar relationship up at this valve. You have a pressure differential between the pump and the group head and a resistance created by the varying size of this opening. What this means is that you don't necessarily have direct control over the flow at all times. As you start to build pressure in the group head, the pressure differential drops between the pump and the group, and therefore the flow rate will also slow even if you don't change the position of the knob. What this means is that while you do have control over the flow, it is not a direct relationship. Think of it kind of as a game of broken telephone. You have a pump pressure across a resistance into another pressure vessel, across a resistance into your cup. What this looks like in practice is that the inputs you give are not exactly direct and not exactly as precise as you might imagine when you see this adjustment right on the top of your group head. You end up using this as more of a reactive tool to the flow rate in the cup, as opposed to a proactive tool of trying to accomplish a certain flow rate and a certain pressure profile. So with all that being said, are these valves worth it? Absolutely yes. Just because you cannot have the same precision as a Decent DE1 or a manual lever machine doesn't make it a bad investment. Being able to control your flow through the pre-infusion and then taper down towards the end of the shot is extremely valuable, and it will undeniably provide you with a more consistent, although slightly more involved, E61 experience. As long as you understand that this is more of a broad adjustment and not a precision input, you will be very happy with what this is able to provide you with, and I highly recommend anyone with an E61 to give this a try. So I hope that was not too technical. I hope it was useful and somewhat educational. Again, if you want to check out this system, I will have it linked down in the description below. If you like this video, please drop a thumbs up and even consider subscribing if you want to see some more like it in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.